robot framework, Python, and Selenium 2 library installed on this Windows 7 machine. Now, how do I go about creating a test that opens a web page, clicks on a link, and also maximizes the page? That's a simple test, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do that with your own framework and Selenium 2. First thing is we need a couple of files. One is for the test cases and one is for the resources. I'm going to create two text files. Okay. This one I'll call key resources or any other name, but I'll just use key resource. Key resource. And this one I'm going to call, this test case I'm going to call Spiceworks page. Okay. So the key resources, I'm going to open it. Here I'm going to create some settings and also some variables. So I use these three asterisks and then the word settings for the section, for my settings sections. And I'm going to put in here the library that I'm going to be using, which is the Selenium 2 library. So I need at least 4 spaces from the library, or 2 tabs, 1, 2, okay. Now I'm going to give it the name of the library, Selenium 2 library. There, Selenium 2 library. Okay. Okay, that's the settings. Now I want a section from my variables. And then a section for my keywords. The keywords that I'm going to use are either declared in the Selenium 2 library or in the Spiceworks page test case that I'll have over here. And some are keywords specific to Robot Framework. The ones that I'm going to use here are going to be mostly, yeah, they'll all be for the Selenium 2 library keywords that I'll use. Okay, so here will be keywords. Okay, right. So I'm just going to use a variable. I could either use a variable or not use a variable, but I'm going to use one. So I'm going to call it URL location. I'm going to tap a couple times, and here I'm going to put in the URL location of the web page where I want to go. Okay. Now this variable is specific for the Selenium 2 library, so it knows what browser type to use. So this is a variable that I need to create. It's called browser type. It has to be exactly like this. It has to be browser type so that it can be used. So the browser type is going to be Firefox. Now this delay time variable I'm going to create now, delay time variable, has to be exactly this way. Delay time. Okay. So I'm going to put it 1 for the delay time. Okay. These variables and settings are set here. So I'm going to save it for now. Now for the Spiceworks test cases here, the page. Okay. So I'll keep the key resource file open so that I can go back and forth from the Spiceworks underscore page test to these key resources. Here I'm going to do almost the same thing, but I'm just going to add 2 sections, the settings section and the test case section. Okay, settings, then test cases. Okay. For the settings, I need to specify the resource file that I'm using. So resource, couple of tabs, and then the resource file is keyword key underscore resource .txt. There we go. And test case. Okay. The first test case I'm going to call go to Spiceworks page and log on. That's the test case. Now I have to put in the steps. Put a little bit of space here. Maybe 4 spaces. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 spaces, and then I'm going to have the steps. The first step is to open the browser. So I'm going to say open browser to Spiceworks page. I decided to use this name, open browser to Spiceworks page, for this step. And for the test case, it's the same. I just used any name that I thought of. It doesn't really matter what name you use. What really matters is that these names match exactly what you're going to have on these files, on this key resource file. So okay, open browser to Spiceworks page. Then the other one I'm going to put here, click log on link to log on. So now I have those words, those keywords. Now I go to my resource file and I take this keyword, because this is my step, copy it, and I'll put it right here under keywords. Okay, so I have that step here. So I want to execute this step. So it's going to go to it's going to be at the resource file where this step is going to be executed. So this is test case and this step, and make sure I put this step here in the resource file. also this step. So I'm gonna copy it and I put it down here. So I got the two steps already, the two keywords, my keywords that I created. Could be any keyword that you can think of. I just called it this. Now this is where things are going to happen. So once you have the keyword here, you make maybe put in 4 spaces, and now you start using Selenium 2 library keywords to do the work. You want to open the browser to Spiceworks page. So the Selenium keyword to use, the Selenium 2 library keyword, is called open browser. Open browser. Then you put a tab here, and then I'm gonna use this variable because this is the place I want to go to, spiceworks.com. Okay, put it here. So what's going to happen is, okay, this is going to be executed. The browser is going to open using Firefox, and it's going to go to this URL location. Now once that location opens, I want to click on a link on that page, and I already know what the name of the link is. So I'm going to say click link, I'm going to put a tab here, 2 tabs, and the link name is login. That's the name of the link that I'll click. That's the name that shows on the actual page. I'm going to save it. Okay, so I have these two. I have the test case. I mean the resource file. I mean, this is where the test steps are going to be executed. So I'm going to open the browser, then I'm going to click a link. This is my test case, and these are my steps. So I'm going to run this is a file I'm going to run, spiceworkspage.txt, and then it'll get executed from here, from the resource file. So I'll open a command prompt, and I'm going to go to that directory, tests. See what we got here. Okay, so I want to execute this one, spiceworkspage.txt. So the way I do that is I type in pybot and then spiceworks. So there, pybot space spiceworks underscore page.txt, which is this file. And run it and see if there are any errors. There's one error. Okay, has no test case table. It does have a test cases table right here. So maybe I need to move it up a little more. Let's see. Okay, yes, it needed to be up closer to the test cases. You cannot have too many spaces in between, only one space. So now it's going to open the web page to this URL, spiceworks.com. It's going to click the login button, and then this appears. So that worked. But one thing we forgot is we forgot to maximize the window. I really want to maximize this window, but so I'm going to add it. So as you can see, everything passed. And if we look in the directory, that there are going to be some files created, like the report, the log, and an output file. So you can look at the report in a nice HTML format. Here it is. Tells you what passed and what failed. Everything passed because everything is green. And it says total 1 pass, 1 fail 0. And it tells you how long the execution took. So I'm gonna close this. Okay, now I'm gonna add another Selenium keyword to maximize the browser. I'm gonna put it right here. After opening the browser, I want to maximize it. So I'm gonna use a maximize browser window. There. Save that. Now I'm gonna execute it again. Now this time around the window will maximize, the browser will open, then the window will maximize, and then the login link will be clicked. Okay, there we go. Okay, that goes the browser. Now I should maximize there, and you click the login link, and now we're here at the login page. So let's see. Now I'm just gonna close this web page, this page here. So now that's all that it does. It maximizes the browser window. I can also put another keyword to close the browser. So I want to close the browser when it's done. So I could add that as another keyword in my test case. Right here, right under here, and I can say close the browser. That's my keyword. So I'm gonna copy it. Now this is where the work happens. So I put in keyword, close the browser, and now I use the Selenium 2 library keyword to take care of that. So it'll close the browser. And the keyword is like this: close, no, close browser. Exactly like that, close browser. That's a keyword that has to be specifically like this, because it's going to be looked for in the Selenium 2 library. These keywords also has to be exactly the same way, because these are in the Selenium 2 library. Now my keyword is mine, and it has to be exactly the same way as what I put in my test case. So I'll save it and run it. So now what's going to happen is the browser will open, it'll maximize the browser window, it'll click the login link, and then it'll close the browser. So I saved it, so let me run it. I have to save this one too. Okay. Okay. It closed the browser. It was really quick. Let's look here. Look at the report. So it was one test, and everything passed. There were 3 steps in the test. Let's look at the log. 0 failed. This is a test case name. Go to SpiceWorks page and log on. We can expand this and we can see all the steps, which are the keywords. Open browser to SpiceWorks page, click log on link, close the browser. We can expand it more and see what is really getting executed. You can see here that this is from the Selenium 2 library. Open browser, Selenium 2 library, maximize browser. You can expand the other keywords. As you can see, all of them are all are using the Selenium 2 library. See? Okay. So if you want to learn more about the Selenium 2 library, so you can use it in your test cases, just do a search. Do a search for it and download it, and then just open it. So I can go here and type in Selenium 2 library. Here, here's the documentation, or it could be somewhere else, but this is the first hit we got. Let's see. Okay, this one will be a good one to open. And this has the Selenium 2 library. Library documentation maybe is here. Okay, here, version 2.991, and you can see some of the ones that I used, like click link, some of the keywords from the Selenium library. So you can look at this, and you can use any of these keywords on your tests with your own framework. Okay, thanks for watching.